Right now, from KTAB News, your local election headquarters, this is Big Country Politics.
Thanks for being here for Big Country Politics. I'm Marley Capper. After a 3-week trial, the Minneapolis jury determined that the former police officer Garrett Chovin is guilty of all 3 counts for the death of George Floyd. Response from the verdict was felt all over the country and right here in Abilene. Our Miriam Chamberlain spoke with the Abilene police chief to hear his thoughts as well as what changes he hopes to make to APD.
The verdict was justice.
A guilty verdict for former officer Garrett Chovin.
I can't erase from my mind hearing the cries, the pleas from folks that were bystanders.
One that the Abilene chief of police believes is justified.
And the look that appeared to be on the officer's face as he refused to take any action, any efforts to try to make sure that Mr. Floyd was doing okay.
Chief Marcus Dudley Jr. is looking to make a few changes within the department.
We do have a code of conduct that they're expected to adhere to, or there will be consequences.
And says it's critical now for his officers to be thinking about ways to lessen the load and burden for their fellow officers.
Hey, if you catch the bad person, then it's your job to write your report and clean up the mess. Those days are gone.
Dudley is planning to implement a duty to intervene policy.
It's making sure that our officers know that they are expected to treat people with respect.
As he wants residents to feel safe.
If they feel in any way that their rights are being violated, that they're not being treated fairly, that they do have recourse.
But the time for the recourse maybe isn't during the stop itself.
It's after that circumstance when they should be able to get with their parent if they're a child or if they're an adult on their own. Go into the police department or contact a supervisor and make the essential report.
While this is only one policy, Dudley says many more changes are to come. For Big Country Politics, I'm Miriam Chamberlain.
Let Us Breathe Abilene was also founded after Floyd's death, hoping to bridge the gap between community members, leaders, and police. Our Mercedes Hernandez spoke with the founder about the impact of this verdict.
For Shante Fleming, Tuesday was a day filled with anxiety from the moment she woke up.
We were just all on edge today. We were just waiting all day long.
And while a guilty verdict in the Garrett Chovin trial was, as she says, a relief, she also says it was a
painfully earned verdict. Hate that Mr. George Floyd had to lose his life for all this awareness to come about.
Fleming leads Let Us Breathe, formed in the months after Floyd's murder. Since then, it has played a huge role in uniting the local black community in the last year. But even with Tuesday's verdict, Fleming assures the work of organizations like hers is nowhere near over.
I think that because pressure was actually applied by the people, it's how we got to this point.
She also says while Abilene may not have as overt problems between people of color and police, accountability is still needed to make sure they don't develop. And that accountability should start at the thin blue line.
And I think that what fellow officers have to do across the board is hold your fellow officers accountable when you see something that is not right.
Overall, Fleming says it was a bittersweet day.
I'm ready to go find my mom and the rest of my family and just, hug them.
But it is one that will go down in the history books as one toward change. For Big Country Politics, I'm Mercedes Hernandez.
Thank you, Mercedes. The next big function for Let Us Breathe Abilene will be the Juneteenth celebration at Stevenson Park in mid-June. Now moving to Clyde, where the Clyde CISD School Board voted to change the school dress code. Several months after, Clyde got some national attention when the school district punished a male student for wearing fingernail polish. Arnold McKinney has the latest.
For a story that garnered nationwide attention, this Clyde School Board meeting was remarkably quiet.
All in favor? Motion passes unanimous.
Unceremonious, but a quiet victory for Clyde senior Trevor Wilkinson.
I actually am very proud of my school for this. I'm glad that we finally got to this point, and I think that it is inclusive to everyone, which is my main goal.
Wilkinson was suspended by his school in December of 2020 for showing up with his nails painted, something allowed for girls but not for boys.
The rule was set in place for gender norms that society oppresses on us, but at the end of the day, those barriers need to be broken.
3 months prior, he had addressed the school board, voicing his concern for the double standard.
They didn't say anything, nobody gave me like an update.
Following suspension, Wilkinson took to the web. His petition to change the rule gained over 400,000 signatures, and his story was picked up by national outlets.
It's been an experience, to say the least.
The new dress code drops the gender-specific rule sets in favor of one list for all students, no longer restricting by boy or girl.
When I hear from teachers that students are so happy that they're able to wear makeup or wear nail polish and be themselves, like, it is an amazing feeling again.
Wilkinson says his nails weren't an issue until staff pulled him aside.
Not being able to be yourself 1000% is such a bigger distraction or takeaway from our learning environment.
And though it's been a long and difficult journey, he says the outcome was well worth the pain.
I am really proud of the steps that Clyde are taking to become better and do better.
For Big Country Politics, I'm Noah McKinney.
Thank you, Noah. We have the full rundown of the new Clyde dress code on our website, bigcountryhomepage.com. And moving on our eye to the Key City, early voting continues for contested Abilene City Council races. Election day is May 1st, and you can vote at the Taylor County Elections Office, but there are many more locations. For that full list, go to bigcountryhomepage.com as well. And when we come back here on Big Country Politics, news from Abilene, as we have an in-depth conversation with City Council Place 2 candidates, Garrett Hubbard and Lynn Beard. We're back in 2 minutes.
Big Country Politics on KTAB continues.
Thanks for joining us here on Big Country Politics. This morning we are here with Garrett Hubbard, who is running for City Council Place 2. Garrett, you are 24 years old. Why do you want to run at such a young age?
Yeah, so a lot of the reason why I got into this is because I feel like there's a large piece of representation missing in our city government. There's a lot of people that feel like they're not being represented well, and there's demographics that feel like they're not represented at all. And so I think that it's time that we elect a young person in our city government here in Abilene, Texas.
Definitely. So do you think that your age has hindered you in this race? I mean, when you're talking to constituents, is the first thing that they bring up that you're young?
So there are times whenever people do bring up my age, and usually, you know, they bring it up at the beginning, and then I talk to them for a little bit, and then by the end of the conversation, they're willing to vote for me. So a lot of what I remind people of a lot of times is just to give me a chance to earn your vote. I don't want the vote to be given to me by any means. I like to earn people's vote, and tell them what I stand for, and tell them what I want to bring to the city council. So, you know, the age thing does get brought up sometimes, but you know, by the end of the conversation, it's usually a very small piece of it.
Definitely. So you've been to a few city council meetings. What issues do you think aren't being discussed, and what would you implement if you were elected?
Okay, so a big thing that our campaign wants to talk about is the single-member districts. Single-member districts would be a different style of representation here in our city. The single-member districts would mean that each district would have its own representative, and it would be voted on by that district instead of the at-large voting representation. You know, and for a lot of people, you know, for most people, the at-large representation does work. But there's pieces of our city that feel like they have nobody that speaks for them. The single-member districts would ensure that each district had its representative that has its best interests in mind. And so that's something I would really like to see our city government talk about more.
Definitely. You've talked about representation a lot. Is there specific groups or age groups maybe that you think you would be hoping to kind of step in for?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, you know, the big one is younger people in Abilene that feel like, you know, they don't have a representative right now. And so electing a 24-year-old would certainly, you know, give them a reason to think that they have a representative. You know, and, you know, whether it's people of color, whether it's, you know, LGBT, you know, whether minorities, there's a lot of people out there, you know, poor people, homeless people, hungry, that feel like, you know, our city government doesn't really have their back. And so I want to be that person that's going to be their ally, that's going to help them, that's going to, you know, give them access to the resources they need and help them get to those. You know, I really want to be that helping hand in that.
Definitely. How do you think that you're able to kind of step up in that position? Does it mean just showing up physically, or are you hoping to implement some sort of policy to be able to help people who are suffering from poverty, homelessness, and are hungry?
Yeah, and a lot of times whenever we talk about those instances, we get too caught up in policy and less about the people. So I think that, you know, people have to be willing to put in the work and, you know, to be willing to be that ally for them and to get them access to those resources. You know, the main thing, it comes down to people. You know, we need to elect people in these positions that are going to be there for those people. You know, and I think showing up is the biggest part of it. You know, showing up goes a long way. You know, if it's, you know, a minority-driven event, you know, sometimes we don't see our city council members there, and so I think that showing up goes a long way in showing those people that we're serious about bridging that divide.
Right. So because you've talked a lot about these key issues for poverty and hungry, for example, you were able to kind of work with that fridge, the community fridge. Do you mind telling us a little bit about that? Yeah, so the fridge, I helped out on that. It was organized by a community member. She did a great job with it, and so I helped out there. You know, and it was kind of a rough road whenever it kind of, you know, the health department shut it down for a little bit, but it's back and running now. But something I see is that there are a lot of hungry people in Abilene. You know, with how fast the food in the fridge and on the shelves go, it just shows that there's a lot of people that, you know, are still going hungry. And before that fridge, you know, there's a lot more that were going hungry before that took effect. And so I would like to see more of those fridges going up and, you know, give people easier access to food. You know, to me, it's a big issue because food is something that, you know, most people probably just take for granted. It's such a basic thing in our minds, but for some people it's so hard to get. And so I want it to be something that's easier for people to have access to. Right. And you do talk a lot about, you know, the youth, young people. You're young yourself. Do you think that this entertainment district that we are talking about in City Council is the right direction for Abilene? Yeah, absolutely. I agree with it 100% because, you know, we get young people here that go to school, you know, and after they finish, you know, they move on to the next city. And so I think that we need to invest in things that are going to make people want to stay here in Abilene because, you know, if we get young people that come here and move here to go to school and then they finish, you know, if there's more things for them to do here, they'll be like, you know what, we should stay in Abilene. You know, so the more Abilene grows and the more our youth population grows, I think that it's important that we give them reasons to stay here and then hopefully invest and become young entrepreneurs in our community. Definitely, and as somebody who is young, if this were to go through City Council, obviously nothing is official yet, but if this were to kind of pass through Council, would you be supportive of this if you were elected? Yes, I would. Definitely. Absolutely. Awesome. Is there anything else that you would love to share with the community to get to know you a little bit better? Yeah, absolutely. So I want to remind people that this campaign is absolutely not about me. It's about the people of Abilene. I want to be the voice for people that feel they're not represented. I want to, you know, our signs embrace love and togetherness. You know, anybody, no matter your race, no matter your economic standing, no matter your sexual orientation, your gender, you know, this together, it includes everybody. So this campaign is about you. And I promise that I will go to work for you and your family and, you know, be your voice. If you feel like you have not been listened to before, I will strive to always be the one that's going to listen to your needs and concerns and try to bridge that gap in our community. Well, thank you so much. It's been so wonderful getting to know you a little bit better. When we come back, we'll be sitting down with his opponent, Lynn Beard.
Big Country Politics on KTAB continues.
Thanks for sticking with us. Right now we're with Lynn Beard, who served for our police force in Abilene for about 20 years. So after all that time, you still want to serve our community. How come?
I do. When I retired from the police department in 2018, I didn't have any intentions of leaving. I got a really good job offer that I wasn't counting on, that I felt like I needed to take. And so when I left after 20 years, I genuinely missed being in service to the city. And so this is another way that I can do that, just in a different capacity. So I'm excited for it. Definitely. So how does your background as a police officer equip you for this job? Well, I think several ways. Number one, I'm accustomed to dealing with controversial and difficult things. As you know, sometimes on councils things can get, there's a lot of emotion and passion involved in a lot of those issues, and being able to navigate those circumstances in a way that's respectful to all involved is something that I have some experience with. Also, not only during that time, or during my time on the police department, I also served on 2 different nonprofit boards and was president of one. And so I was a part of the administrative team at the police department, which was charged with all the administrative tasks of that department, but specifically the budgeting aspect. So I've done budgeting within the city department. But then as president of a nonprofit, I exercise fiscal control over that organization along with the board of directors. Served as a board member on another nonprofit where I exercise fiscal control, and then I do that now as the general manager at Abilene Arrow of a small business. I exercise the fiscal control over that organization as well.
Definitely. So of all your experiences managing budgets, you think that you'll be able to successfully help with the city's budget? I
think so. I've spent a lot of time in the city budget, not only during my time on the police department, but afterwards. As I prepared for this race, I read the entire city budget, all several hundred pages of it. I don't remember the exact page number, but it's $107 million worth of budgeting. It's a difficult read, but I think it's important to be fully informed and understand when the budget is set. That's essentially a statement of priority for the city, and I've been a part of that for a long time, and I'm looking forward to doing it again.
Definitely. So what would you say is a top issue in Abilene? Does that look like economic development? What are people telling you as you're kind of canvassing?
Well, I think if you look at the challenges that face the city with 2 lenses, essentially. If you look at the long-term health of the city, that's definitely the primary goal needs to be economic development. That's what brings jobs to our city. The more jobs we have and the better paying jobs, that's another component. You can bring more low-paying jobs and not move the organization forward or move the city forward. But as we've recently seen with Great Lakes Cheese, 510 jobs with, I think the median pay was $60,000 or just north of $60,000. That's a $30 million annual payroll. That type of payroll dollar enables people to own homes, which is the single biggest predictor of wealth in the future, is your ability to own your own home. But the ripple effect of the economic development goal, if you use the Great Lakes as an example, people are now able to buy a home, which drives property values up, which increases property tax revenue to the city. They have more disposable income, so they can go out and spend money in the local economy and buy things that they need. That increases sales tax revenue. And so that is the long-term key to an economically vital and healthy city, is the economic development model that we have. I am a proponent of reasonable investment and educated investment of tax dollars into attracting businesses to our city. There are some that say that that's not a good idea, that we should never do that, but I can tell you that the economic development marketplace within the state of Texas, even though Abilene was the first to have a development corporation, hundreds of cities in Texas are doing it now. That's the marketplace. Cities are competing with one another to attract businesses to their city. And so if we aren't in the position to offer those incentives and do those kind of things, we're not going to be able to attract companies like Great Lakes Cheese here.
Definitely. So a huge topic of attracting businesses and keeping people here is bringing young entrepreneurs in. Mm-hmm. And a part of that is a few years ago, Abilene didn't really have a ton to offer for younger generations. And so on this topic, do you think that an entertainment district, while nothing is set yet, do you think it's the right move for Abilene to kind of continue that and bring young people in?
Philosophically, yes, I do. The entertainment district, I think, is a good idea. There's a working group that's been established to kind of set those parameters, identify the boundaries, identify what's going to be allowed within that district and what won't be. And so not all the information is in, but I can tell you just philosophically, I think an entertainment district is a good idea. I'm looking forward to seeing what the working group produces. There will be some tweaks to that, I'm sure. There'll be an opportunity for all of us to provide input into that until we ultimately produce a final product. But yes, I'm in favor of the entertainment district wholeheartedly. I think it's a good idea.
Definitely. So something that your opponent has brought up is wanting a single-member district when voting. He thinks that's what needs to change, and that's something he would want to work on if he were elected. If you were elected, is that something that you would gear towards, or what is your thoughts on that?
Well, first of all, I think the core tenet of a single-member district, what people who are proponents of that say is it will enable better representation. I think the exact opposite would happen. The implementation of single-member districts would cause less representation, because essentially what that does is, if you take the population of Abilene at 125,000, it creates roughly 21,000 of population to be put into a district, right? So we would divide our city into 6 districts, which you could only vote for the member that's coming from your district where you live. Given the population shift that has happened in the last 10 years within the city, largely to the south, if we were to implement single-member districts, the north side would lose a seat, most likely. 4 seats would move to the south and 2 seats to the north. That would essentially give the south side of town control over the city with 4 votes. All that's required, a majority vote on council is what you need to make things happen, with a few exceptions where supermajorities are required. But generally speaking, the south side would be able to control everything, and I'm not in favor of that. There are enough divisive issues in our society right now. I believe dividing us further by geography is a bad idea. I do not think it would accomplish the stated goal of single-member districts for better representation. I think it would actually cause lower representation.
Well, thank you so much for sharing. It's been great getting to know you a little bit better. Don't forget, early election has already started. Election day is May 1st. And if you'd like to watch any of the interviews with his opponent or place one candidates, always go to bigcountryhomepage.com.
Big Country Politics on KTAB continues.
Thanks for sticking with us. I know Lynn mentioned it, but in case you missed it, the Key City will be getting 510 new jobs from the Great Lakes Cheese Company, and they will set up a packing and distributing plant right here in East Abilene.
A big win for the Key City, as the Development Corporation of Abilene, Governor Greg Abbott, and other state leaders announced plans for a new food manufacturer and how a big force in the cheese world is on its way.
In my 30-year career, this tops the list of companies that I'm most excited to have attracted to the community because it's such a great fit for Abilene.
Great Lakes Cheese is the name, and not only does the shoe fit, the economic impact speaks for itself.
$1.3 billion. That's for 10 years.
Misty Mayo, president and CEO of the DCOA, says it is the largest project they've attracted in the past 30 years.
Many generations from now will be affected by GLC's decision to operate in Abilene, Texas.
Great Lakes Cheese Company is currently located in Ohio and supplies about 25% of all packaged cheese consumed in America. Vice President in Sales of Marketing El Qatari says GLC has an ownership culture, believing this is the reason why they're successful.
One of our missions is to make sure that every GLC employee owner retires comfortably, and we take that very seriously.
And starting sooner than you think, the campaigning process for name recognition in Abilene and for jobs is shooting for late May, early June.
We're going to hit the ground running as fast as we can. We can't wait to get this thing going.
Get going in a town that Qatari says that will supply them with the workforce through the colleges and, more importantly, making him feel at home.
This is the country's largest natural cheese packer and the company's first expansion project in Texas. And that does it for this week's edition of Big Country Politics. For the latest political headlines, always go to bigcountryhomepage.com. We'll see you next week, same time, same place. Thanks for watching.